All right, here we go. Today I'm going to be talking about what is the responsibility of the writer. All that is the writer. Everything that is written is the writer. And I'm doing this particularly because I put up a video, maybe 2 videos ago, about the fact that illustrators and independent filmmakers need to hire writers, right? So I was talking about a little bit of that, and people weren't clear on it. And so I'm going to dedicate this particular video to talk about the responsibility of writers. All that is writing, everything that's writing. The reason why I feel it way is because when I did the video and I put it out, I realized that because of just the way the world works in entertainment, writers don't even know all of what their responsibility is. So they allow, things get overstepped. They don't do their work. They're not allowed to do as much of their work as they should, and they're confused. And so the people that hire them are confused. Now, editors and big film production companies aren't confused because they know that, there's a writer. Even if the director writes and gets the credit for the screenplay, there's still other script supervisors and other people that are writers, dedicated writers, that are maintaining the continuity of the story, whether something gets changed or not, right? So now I made this point to illustrators because a lot of illustrators didn't really understand. I personally felt that some of our comic books, specifically the independent ones, are suffering and suffer because of the story. And many times, same thing with independent films. The picture quality may be good, the sound may be good, technical aspects may be banging, but the lines, the overall story, the ending, the beginning, all those things that a writer can do are not well. And a lot of filmmakers, they're like, I can't hire a writer, I don't know how to find a writer. Then you got illustrators, they got banging illustrations or good enough illustrations that it won't mess up the product, that the product can actually sell. But they sell one comic book and the people don't buy into the story because the story isn't really gripping, right? It's not as good as the illustrations, or it's just not good, right? And so for that, I suggest that illustrators need to hire writers and involve writers in the process. And that was a lot of confusion. So I'm going to say this. Let me go through, and then we'll come back and talk about, more than just hiring writers, some of the solutions that I think can happen, but just a little commentary on the state of the industry, right? So writers think of everything. Writers think of everything from the beginning of the story, from the name of the story to the tagline to the synopsis, the book back of the cover description. And with books, there's really no argument because a writer does everything in a book. You know what I'm saying? Editors have a responsibility to correct the mistakes, whether they're pacing, continuity, grammar, you name it. But the writer is the main one, right? And sometimes even editors overstep that, by bullying a writer and saying, I don't really understand this. You got to write this chapter over, or it doesn't make sense for her to be it being told from this perspective. And they, can totally dictate to a writer what their story should be. And that's, wow, I have had that happen, something like that to me, and you just have to stand up for yourself. Fortunately, it wasn't on my first book. My first editor, shout out to Karen Quinones Miller, like my second editor, Carla Mathis, Carla Dean. Why did I say Carla Mathis? Carla Dean, you can mark my word, they all were very respectful of writers, and they helped me get better. But when it comes to illustrators, when it comes to, what's another one? Probably illustrators and and independent filmmakers, man, you as a writer, you can get totally overlooked, and sometimes they'll just not even hire a writer, right? They feel they can do it themselves. So anyway, let's talk about all of where does it start for writers, right? So I say even the title is part of the writing, the tagline and the synopsis. Give you an example. In 2002, I thought of about 5 different titles, maybe 6. All of them are in some form of availability, whether it's comic books, or film. My first movie, Holla If I Kill You, I thought of that. Gold Digger Killer, I thought of that all at the same time. It happened on Negro Mountain, which is a book. Rashida the Zombie Killer, which is a book. 40 Ounces of Death, which is a comic book. All of these were story titles that I thought of at the same time. To give you an example, when I think of a story, I put the tagline right with it. So I thought of my next movie coming out, Death Pledge, right? Death Pledge is a story about a group of college pledges that have to spend the night excavating a recently unearthed African burial ground. And the longer part is, unbeknownst to them, that good slaves were buried with bad slaves. So they did, and that's the synopsis. That's a tagline. I mean, that's the synopsis. There is a shorter version and a little longer one for the press release. But that's the gist of it, right? Beyond that, I gave a tagline. The tagline is, if you don't respect the dead won't respect you. In the longer synopsis, it is revealed that they unearthed a African serial killer who wakes up and goes Jason or Freddy on all of the kids there, and they have to run for their lives, right? So it's a very disrespectful spirit. But my tagline and my title and all of that works. At least it works enough for me. I mean, the film got distribution. When the movie comes out this winter, you make the judgment yourself. Gold Digger Killer, very similar. Gold Digger Killer is a girl that gets raped and seeks revenge on the guys that raped her in the whole misogynistic world of hip hop, all right? And so this girl, the tagline, that's the synopsis, the tagline is Gold Digger Killer is trying to rid the world of misogyny, one player at a time. That's the tagline. Sounds good. That's the job of the writer. Negro Mountain. The tagline is, Negro Mountain is a place where bad things happen to bad people. In the story, a drug dealer goes to hide out in Negro Mountain, and just so happens that's how the mountain attacks him in a ghostly way. So it's almost like a reverse Amityville Horror. So you know how Amityville Horror was a bad ghost, good people? This is a good ghost or a bad person being attacked by a ghost. So I do say good ghost, but that's up to you to determine when you read the story. So now, even past that, in terms of the story, the pacing of the story, how does that work in book? Very simple. What goes into each chapter? When do you stop and you start stop one chapter and start the next chapter? That's easy. Writers do that. In comic books, it's what goes on one page, where does the next page start? How do you pace the story? And how much goes into the 20 to 28 pages of a comic book that you put in? Now, illustrators, just like editors, may have a suggestion, idea, may have something to say. Here, they may say, okay, you said this page should go in 6 panels. All right, that's the standard panel rate, but I can do it. I need 7 panels. I need 8 panels, and I'm going to do small windows, right? I'll still get it on the page, and it makes more sense. Or I can tell this in 4 panels. I can tell it in 3. That's an illustrator's opinion, you know what I'm saying? But the story is still told by the writer. Sometimes an actor may say, hey, I think this line will go here. Sometimes the director may choreograph and block the scene a little different than the way it might have been described in the script. That's beautiful. Those are all suggestions on top of the writing. But don't get it twisted. The writer had to lay the groundwork because the scene, the page in the comic book all connects, right, to the whole story. So you can't make a suggestion to a scene, to a character, to a page in a comic book without fully knowing where the whole story is going. Because maybe on that particular page, that panel was necessary because they focused on one little thing in the background, but that one little thing in the background, that straw that they left out is significant to the whole story and to the ending. So you have to pay attention to all of that. Maybe there's a catchphrase that a person says that needs to be said in an early scene where it makes no sense. It stands out or it's overlooked. It's not that noticed, but it's so important to the overall story. That's why writers are important, right? So now writers come up with the pacing, where the scenes start. They come up with the ending, the moral of the story. Sometimes writers are even responsible for writing the press release and how the story is described. To me, I don't think that's a big thing to let somebody else do, because sometimes you do need to have fresh eyes look at something now, and then sometimes writers or people in general, it's hard for them to look at their own work and then go out and see the value of it. However, all things can be done, and a writer should be able to do that. It's just if you got a distributor for a film, this distributor may change everything, even the title, right? There's a thing called working titles. In my book, Thug Angel, Rebirth of a Gargoyle, I had a working title. The working title was Monster on Front Street. So if I die, right, and you got to go into my computer, anybody got to go into my computer, the book, Thug Angel, Rebirth of a Gargoyle, is not under that title. It's under the Monster on Front Street. And so working titles are cool because many times, like for me, they keep me on focus. So I know that this is a monster, this is happening on Front Street or whatever. It's not a commercial title. I will pack it up and go to sleep and meditate after I write the whole story and see if I need to change it and try to think of a better title. Those things happen. That ain't no big deal. But I just really, kind of to sum it all up now, it's important for writers to be the writer. It's important for projects to have writers, just as filmmakers and illustrators, cinematographers are given an opportunity to grow in their art form. Damn, I got like 10 Porsches passing me all at once. I might put this on the thing, but I'm driving to a Comic Con in Fort Myers, so I'm going across Alligator Alley now. But to give you an example, sometimes, you're writing is an art just like illustrating. It's an art, you learn techniques, and you improve on those techniques, and you get better. So you definitely want to, in terms of making your film or your film career, your filmmaking career, you want to have a writer become a part of your team who understands your methodology and can grow with your company. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I think a writer needs to be involved. So when you're looking at putting your team together, you now have a writer that maybe somebody else in the production has to contribute or can contribute a lot of good things. Maybe the illustrator knows a lot about it, about the story, but the writer is the responsible one for it. You take those suggestions and you move on. So anyway, that's what I think. That's my 2 cents, and I'm seeing it in myself. The reason why I say a lot of these things is I see myself as a person who has been involved in different aspects. I started as an entertainment agent. I'm becoming a better writer. And why am I becoming a better writer? Because, well, one, I'm giving myself the shot, right? I'm handling this myself, but I'm giving myself a chance to grow and develop as a writer. And that's what I think writers need. And for illustrators and filmmakers to forget these things is one thing. But then I also think the overall projects suffer. You know what I'm saying? These movies are beautiful. They have good actors in it. They have good cinematography. But sometimes, and a lot of times, the story doesn't, keep up with the the acting and the cinematography. The story is trash. What is it about? The title's trash. When you go to a distributor, the distributor takes the title and said, this title won't sell. That's why they changed the title. So anyway, I just went through a lot of what a writer does, and I'm at time or overtime. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for checking me out, and touch base with you later. Bye.